How's it going?
Number go up.
Number go up. That's great. I always I always like to check in after the music to see what kind of gifts people have put in the stage chat, and today did not disappoint.
My Dancing Man, like one of the moments of that song in his like butt shake back and forth was perfectly timed. It was like pretty incredible. I had a good laugh.
Nice.
That's
Very
the
good.
weekly challenge, I think everyone is try to get the men to the little dancing bananas or whatever to like match up on the timing of the song.
Yeah, nice. I'll have to try and keep that in mind when I'm song selecting for next time. Um, anyways, we have a good crew on stage today. How's everyone doing?
Wonderful.
I love it. I love the enthusiasm. I was gonna see who answered that first, and I was gonna bounce the ball to them first for today's categories of updates. So, with that spirit in mind, Chase and or Dylan, take it away with something good data-wise this week.
Lots of kind of fun stuff. The things we're kind of experimenting with that I'm really excited about right now because Dylan and I managed to kind of and fix a couple of pieces of it right before this call. Is we're building kind of just a toy model that if you tell us a transaction that you sent, hypothetically, then we tell you how much it would have cost on a cross. And we want to kind of that run and vary over time so that we have some fun things in the works that I don't want to spoil too much of. But we can now kind of tell you over the last 6 months pretty accurately how much any transaction would have cost on a cross, even if you didn't do that transaction.
Even if you didn't do that transaction on a cross. Is what we
You're right. You say when you were going to send it, like a date and a time, and then you how much you were sending and what token you were sending, and we can tell you roughly what it would have cost.
Pretty cool to say the least.
That's very cool.
It's not just like a plug your transaction in and spit out an answer type thing. You have to like input specific pieces of the data.
Yeah,
Well,
you have.
That's the point where we're at now. We'll see where things go. Ideally, like this is something you'd might be able to connect your wallet to or something. And I might give you some statistics.
Hypothetically speaking, of course.
Hypothetically, allegedly.
Yeah. No, that's okay. I will say our data tweets have been a hit as of late. Like we've had some people coming in asking to see dashboards or like it was yesterday that somebody came in and asked some question and I wasn't sure where this came from. So I had to go look at our Twitter and I was like, oh yes, they saw this tweet and they want to see our data source. So yeah, super cool. That
Is this for the market share one?
Must be, yeah. Let's see. Maybe I can even call them out directly. I don't want to waste too much time trying
Real
to
good.
multitask.
The one that was put up on the across Twitter or the across X, if that's what we're calling it now. Yesterday is kind of a really good example of how things have been going quite well over the last little while. Like we've just kind of broken 12% market share. Like that's overall. That's not just in aggregators. So like we really are the best of the rest. It's like kind of showing clear strength even when there's like new like genuine challengers out there like CCTP, and like we're managing to stay ahead of them. Whereas like, and this is all while Stargate's airdrop farming is going on, which is like making gaining market share a real headwind for other bridges. So the fact that we've actually managed to go from like our normal sort of baseline of around 9%, like outside of the 12% range, and actually like 2 days ago we were like up at 20%, which was kind of cool. Like we had a couple of big volume days. But like on that kind of like rolling 7-day basis, being above 12% is a really, really strong indication of like how well our growth metrics are sort of looking. So yeah, I think people are starting to recognize that across is better, faster, cheaper. Yeah.
On the high volume days, Do you happen to know if that was like what the fluctuation there was? Like
Like,
sometimes
was
I
it
know
one big transaction or was it a lot of
Yeah.
small ones? Like, I haven't looked into the breakdown of
From-
it.
From what I've seen, most of the days we're having about 3 to 4 million in relatively small transactions. Now, bigger than I would ever transact, like that cutoff is bigger than I would ever transact in. The days that we've been doing kind of much bigger, it's kind of an influx of smaller transfers, but also typically a few big transfers.
I'm just looking there. So we've actually just broke 15%, not just 12% on a 7-day rolling average. And if I check now without any average on, yeah, we broke 20% yesterday on a couple of big transfers. So on the up and up.
About something that kind of I found surprising, and it was our average fees infographic that we had. And maybe Amanda has that on hand. But I was surprised to see how low the fees on average were for Stargate. Did that
They're
somebody
so
else?
they're only low on for going like L2 to L2. So like if you're going from Arbitrum to Optimism, vice versa. So like that's where we're seeing the vast majority of the like farming volume, because like it's the cheapest way to build up your numbers that might get you qualified for a sort of airdrop. So like
Yeah,
if you
the thing that's
want-
tricky is like everything happens in equilibrium. And so like you always need to be conditioning on something for these bridge transfers to like make sense. So it's like hypothetically Stargate could look cheaper, but if they did, it would almost certainly be simply because all of their transfers were happening L2 to L2. So you kind of conditioned on certain routes. Out that kind of across was cheaper on routes that we support or something like that.
Okay, that makes
And
sense. So their median number was like $1.30, and is that just because of the sheer volume that they're doing L2 to
yeah,
L2?
so like if 90% of their transfers are L2 to L2, 5% are L2 to L1, and another 5% are L1 to L2, then it's gonna like bring down their overall numbers, even though the L2 to L1 and the L1 to L2 could be like $20 a transfer on median, something like that.
Interesting, I see.
And to answer your other question, it's not like it over the last week, there hasn't been actually like any gigantic big transactions on across. It's been like 1 million was our biggest one, like 1.08 million. And it just seems to be like a load of like 400, 500, 600, 700K transfers. And they all kind of stack up when you start having lots of them. So yeah, I can see Gior kind of mentioned there. It is just more transactions coming through the protocol. So more people are using us. It's a good thing to see.
Nice. Like off the tip of your tongue, do you guys happen to know which is the main bridge that gets used for L1 to L2s? Like if you just filter for that route, who does the most volume?
Give me a sec. I don't know. off the top of my head.
Dylan uses our tool faster than I am. He's gonna find it.
Yeah.
Though.
Okay, L2 to
It's a race.
L1.
Someone get out your stopwatch.
And I guess I'll take this moment to say this is a good use case to brag about last week's updates, I think, when Dylan said that he optimized this search process where it used to take several minutes and now it just takes a few seconds. So
And now I've got the right chart, hitting update. do.
Did you say L1 to L2 or L2 to L1?
L1 to L2.
Oh, damn it. I did L2 to L1.
Okay,
It's no fair.
that's fine.
Sorry, L1 to L2?
Sure. Yeah, I mean,
L1 to...
I'm just
It's a
wondering,
race.
like,
Who's gonna win?
on the big gas expensive route.
All
On the
right.
most gas expensive route. Who is
Stargate is still coming in probably like 51%. We're coming in at like somewhere between 16 and 20%. Here, I can actually share it in here so you guys can see what I'm looking at.
Well,
This
I guess
is
it's kind of to be expected.
to be fair, Stargate still is doing lots of volume. It's just they're not doing as much volume as it looks on first appearances. So this is L1 to L2 for roots and tokens across the ports.
Love it.
There you
Cool.
go.
Look at that. Okay, everybody go to the stage chat channel and have a look at Dylan's beautiful chart. Very good. Well, thank you guys for the data update today. It's always fun to play with some numbers in real time, and
Race. I kind of liked that piece of it. Can we just can you come with one question every week and Dylan and I do a race?
yeah,
I think it's gonna win most of them, but it's kind of a fun exercise.
yeah, I will. I'll come with a question. Love it. Okay, cool. Maybe next I'll go ahead and bounce the ball over to Amanda / Clayton, whichever one of you two is most available. Do we have any awesome marketing updates this week?
I feel so weird to say this, but kind of not anything that I can reveal yet. So just something to look forward to next week is that we just have like a very special guest, maybe guests, and yeah, a lot of great announcements next week. But yeah, I don't know if Clayton, if you have anything, but I'm kind of coming up empty this week.
That's the best kind of announcement, is that we can't tell you. And then you and I can go back and decide what that means. No. My response is I'm excited to chat about the possibility of us voting with our UMA tokens, the DAO. And I'm also excited about the velodrome proposal that just passed. Excited to get liquidity on an L2 and also just more liquidity for the ACX token. However, none of those are particularly marketing related. Although, no, yeah, just that. So I don't want to jump the gun. I don't know if there's going to be another opportunity to talk about those things, Britt, in the agenda.
I mean, that would typically be next. Did we publish anything this week that we ought to share with folks? Can't remember. Christian had a piece go out.
Did, yeah. I think he has it open for our review. I don't know that he's put it up yet, but it should be up very soon. And let me see though. But yes, we will have a blog post come up that's on Across's speed specifically.
Awesome. Well, then on that note, I will go ahead and see if you wanted to segue into the community stuff that you were most excited about, Clayton.
Yeah. So I had raised the possibility, or just raised the fact that we have 2 million UMA tokens, which is worth a little over $3 million in the Across treasury. And you can earn about 26% APY if you stake those tokens and vote on the UMA protocol when there's votes. There's actually a vote open right now that's about an Across bundle, a dispute. And so just for everyone's understanding, the UMA optimistic oracle is the oracle that secures the Across bridge, and Across holds a chunk of these tokens. And presently they're just sitting in the treasury. They're not sort of actively being used to vote with. If we stake them as a DAO, we can earn 26% APY, which is equivalent to like $800,000 a year, or $2,200 a day. However, in order to do that, we have to actually vote, which will require on-chain actions for each time there's a dispute. And so there is a bit of figuring out that needs to be done for this to work. And so in the general channel, myself and Britt and then a few community members have been discussing different approaches. The one that's leading the way right now is to have a council of 5 or maybe more or less, probably not less, but maybe more, signatories on a multi-sig that would have the delegated power to vote with those tokens. They wouldn't custody the tokens, they would just have the ability to vote with them. And if they did that, they could earn a portion of those streaming funds. Maybe that'd be like 5% of what the DAO is earning. But yeah, I mean, it essentially would result in a growth in the non-ACX DAO treasury, which raises the risk-free value of the ACX token itself, and is also helps secure the UMA Oracle. To get a 2 million token voter to join the voters is a good thing. It's something that UMA, it's just what helps secure the Oracle, and it's if Across can lead the way on that, we can get other DAOs to do the same. So it's I'm also speaking from the UMA side, right? It benefits UMA, but purely from the financial perspective, it benefits Across plenty. So I'm excited to explore that. And then the other one is I'm just personally excited about having some L2 liquidity. So there was a Velodrome proposal on that just passed passed Snapshot to incentivize liquidity on Optimism. And I'm excited for that. I'm guessing the APY will be pretty darn good for being an LP for that, especially in the beginning. But what's cool about it isn't just the liquidity, it's also the exposure. There's people that use Velodrome that don't know about Across, probably. I'm sure that there is. Obviously, if they're on Optimism, they're certainly aware of bridges, but it'll give more exposure to the token and to the project, as well as get more liquidity. So yeah, I'm excited for that to kick in, as well. That's all.
And Velodrome, I think, is a liquidity hub for many of our competitors on NL2 who choose to have liquidity there.
I see. There you go.
So that'll be cool for sure. Nice. I love it. And I'm excited that it's kind of another use case of the committee model, which is something that I've been working on in the community. I've had several open interviews this week with folks who have expressed their interest in joining our first community essentials committee. And I still have a few more to go this week, but it's been plugging along nicely. It's been really exciting because it's like the design we landed on is pretty much community fostered. Like I tried not to have too much say or influence over it, and I'm pretty pleased with how far we've come just based on community energy. So yeah, awesome. Nice. Let's see, anything else going on this week in the community that I've missed? I think for now that might be it. But I'll ask people to let me know if I'm wrong in the stage chat. So very cool. Well, normally I would ask Dixie to join us for a protocol update, but I believe he still has a standing conflict with this call. So we might just have to let that be a surprise for next week. And then without any further ado, let's go ahead and welcome Evaldo, our very special guest. Hey, Evaldo.
Hey y'all, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good. Nice week going on and everything's okay. How about you?
Doing great. Weather's beautiful. It's a good day to be across, I think.
Yeah.
Amanda, did you have any agenda or questions that you wanted to roll through, or should we just ask Evaldo some questions from the top of our heads and from the audience?
Sure, yeah. I have a list of questions. I think, Evaldo, first you should introduce yourself to the community for those who don't know who you are.
Yeah. So I'm Evaldo. I work at UMA and Across. So I'm responsible to help the developers to build the infrastructure, like create automations and make infrastructure reliable enough and secure enough. So I work basically more on the infrastructure side. So my job is really background thing related to cloud resource and everything between that. And basically I'm working like from 3 years, I think, almost 3 years. And it's a long time. And yeah, nice to be here with all of you. Like as I say, like my job is a really background thing, so it's nice to see all these people together, and it's pretty nice.
Yeah, everyone's
Yeah.
excited to meet you. And I think we prefaced or announced this call with a bit of a teaser that you could help the audience to protect themselves. So I guess before we get into that though, like could you tell us a bit more of it, like your daily life um with Across or with Uma maybe a bit too, if you want to touch on that. Just like what are some of the risks that you look for? What do you protect the protocol from? And yeah, so sort of what do your tasks look like on a day-to-day basis?
Uh, yeah, basically, as I say, like I help most of the developers, all the developers in the company, to create resource for them. So I just make sure the resources is reliable and secure enough for them, like to play around or deploy like production things. And and that's basically my daily thing. So related to the things I'm helping to secure, it's everything between the bots, everything related to the code source, and everything related to the way we used to make like our automations and our deployments and everything between that. So it's all really related to support the developers, basically like that. And related to security to the entire company, I try to bring like the security flag for the end users. So like not everything I do is related to developer stuffs. Is there's some stuff related to more end user stuffs. Uh, how to prevent like users to, for example, a really dumb example is like how I help to the normal users to not share like passwords over an unsecure place, like create these kind of roles and like best practice to the people follow, you know. So it's kind of more like a blue team role, you know. So it's basically like that.
Okay, nice. And then I guess in particular to the bridging space, it's,
Yeah.
I mean, we don't like to talk about it. I mean, not we don't like to talk about it, but it's not good to like focus too much on it because a lot of people have been really hurt by the attacks in the bridging space and lost a lot of money. But in your opinion, as someone who focuses their career on security, like why do you think the bridging space is kind of this war zone in terms of all the attacks? And why would you say like Across is so secure? Maybe we can also wink, wink, and add that in.
Yeah, I would say like this oracle behind, like it's a really nice thing to have, and like it's a way different. Like everything I saw in his face, like it's pretty awesome to see that. Um, but related to the user, like for example, we can do like our best things and trying to do our all of our best work trying to secure and create the best environment. But in the end of the day, who applies and who allowed the transaction to go in is the user, you know? So that's why I think is one of the best things is like trying to educate the users and like bring the security. We should do our job too. It's the thing we need to do to make sure that the user is doing the right thing. But the user should be always aware to like how the things works and like be aware of where the transactions is going, make the validation to know all the normal things. But in the Across end, I would say like I never saw since I began in the company, I never saw in this space like anything protected with so much beautiful way as the Across is with Uma. So it's pretty nice to see.
Nice. And then I guess for the end users, or just all of us, we're using Discord. Like, what is sort of the biggest security threats on Discord right now? And how can people avoid any of those?
Yeah, that's a question I would say don't make for me but I would say to make for the entire community, because like as I say, like my daily basis is related to work with the developers, so I don't come so often like to the edge and talk with the people. So I would like to ask for people, please add some your thoughts as the community, and like you live more in the edge of the community and like interacting every day in the Discord and doing all the things. What are the people are seeing like as risk? Because like for example, I know like these scamming things and like bots and these kind of things, like uh these normal things, but as people you like used to live more daily basis here on Discord, I would like to ask from you like what you see about it, like what is your vision about it. I would like to make a proxy from this question and put forward.
I can hazard a guess to start, which is I get a lot of DMs from people who are like, they've actually started to get a little bit cunning. One of them is that's pretty common is for them to say like, ah, hey, I see that you're an admin or a moderator in this community. We would love for you to come do that for our community too. Will you come join our server? And it'll be like a phishing Discord link where they steal your login information. So that's one that I've seen a lot of. I see less of the old-fashioned kind where it's like, ah, huge airdrop, you can win all the money in the world. Come check out this amazing server. Like
Yeah,
that,
exactly.
that used to be the way where people would just share that in chat channels, but a lot less of that seems to happen nowadays.
Yeah, because like as the most time you spend on the internet, like they spend time too, so they getting better on how to make that things works. But yeah, one of the things like GR said, like to not click on the no links. Like this is one of the first rule you should have every time you click something. Like every time you go in somewhere, like please do not click anything. Like copy the content of the link. Like click with the right button, click copy link, and like paste it in your browser, and like see if it's the same thing. It's going to the link, something like that. And if you have doubt, like don't click. Like ask for more information, try to validate if this person like is the same person. Like for example, every time, like this is one of the things I try to educate people here inside, and pretty valuable is like if you have contact with someone, try to contact someone with another platform. So for example, we use internal platform chat, like, so please send a Telegram message, Twitter message, or like another other place to make sure it's the same person you're talking, like, and trying to get some validations, like a human 2FA, like try to speak with this person like in another places and make sure, okay, if I have any concerns, like try to validate in another place, and never make transfers like without knowing you're talking with the right person. That's really important.
Come in handy several times for me. I get a lot of DMs from people who are like, "Ah, I'm with CoinMarketCap, and we want to do an article with you." Or people will just present themselves as if they have a lot of value to offer, and if I just turned everybody away blindly, then we might lose out on some opportunities. So, which like I used to just turn everyone away blindly, but now that I have this kind of other strategy, it has it's at least relieved my conscience of sometimes feeling like I was passing by opportunities, because now I can just reply to them and say, hey, yeah, we would love for a partnership with CoinMarketCap. If you could, please verify yourself with me by sending us a message through the official Twitter page as well. And if they can't do that, they'll try and make an excuse about it to get me to come join some server or something. And that's how I know when when they can't verify themselves. So yeah, that's a good way to force them to shake hands if they are trying to scam.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sure. Send a message from a verified account, or like send an email from your verified domain, like CoinMarketCap, like the real domain. Always check the domains you're clicking in. If you have like a scam link in a domain, please do not click in wrong things.
It was effective to me as well. Like I made it farther than I like to admit on that particular scam, because there was like, oh, we're CoinMarketCap. We want to highlight your project. And then, yeah, I said the Twitter thing. They said we can't come to our server. And like, looking back, that's more or less equivalent to saying click here to make lots of money to someone that like wants to get exposure for their project. It's like an exciting opportunity, so you get distracted by the opportunity, even though like CoinMarketCap isn't going to DM me on Discord, right? Like that's not how they would even reach out to us. And like, yeah, we have
Yeah.
comms with CoinMarketCap. They wouldn't send me a DM on Discord from a name I don't recognize.
Yeah, exactly. So that's where is the part, like as Brit said, for example, like the human to FA, like just trying to send a message or trying to for a real official communication channel. And if like, for example, is an integration of project, like please try to make a call or something like that with a real person trying to get more information, because if they went, it's really rare. Like I never saw a scam like they went too far, like to get like domains and these kind of verifications, because this is the things you can trust online, like domains and like the verifications you have like in other places. So you need to rely on that. Always trying to get these from other places. Yeah, emotional phishing. Yeah, exactly.
Nice. So what are like the most common mistakes that you see, Evaldo? Just like the average person, what are they doing? How are they putting themselves in danger maybe without knowing it?
Like basic stuff. Like if you do the basic really well, you are like ahead of like 80% of the people. Like basic stuffs, like for example, not reuse passwords, use strong passwords, use a password manager, do not click links, like unsecure links, things you are doubted about, like the who sent it, or like trying to investigate, like always look the emails you're receiving, you're reading. Like sometimes check the domain of the emails you are receiving. This is like real basic stuff so everyone can do. And like this is, if you do these really well, like you are almost like saving any place you go. So always make sure you are going in the right places. Trying to do these basic steps. Just verify, like not clicking everything, verify the domain and these kind of things. You're good to go. These kind of like Brit saying, like these more complex kind of contacts, like never. One of the things they always try to do is like to rush yourself, like, hey, please try to do these quickly because we need to go in with this integration or something like that. Do not rush to do these kind of important things. Try to get more information and like understand better and see, because almost sure they're gonna send some red flag and say, oh, okay, that's a scam. I'll always be aware of that.
Okay, nice. That's very good practical advice. I think we can move on to just like more like community questions. That's pretty much all that I had. I had a very specific question, and that is, when you go to airport and you sign up for, you just try to get like airport Wi-Fi, and it asks you for some information like your name, number, like maybe your email, of course, your email address, like things like that. Like usually I just like lie on it, but what happens if people are telling the truth? Like, is that unsafe? Should we be just like kind of filling it out incorrectly on purpose? Or is it safe to find? Yeah.
Yeah, I would say like always put a random information. I put your information there if you don't want to get fully off marketing emails or like get your data someone calling you or something like that. Because maybe other thing could happen is someone trying to create another hotspot with the name of the airport, for example, as you said, and like you connect through it and like put your information and like they get your number and see your traffic or something like that. So always try to like avoid it and like public things and in a public networks always use a VPN. No, I never like just like to put your connection to one host and like not seeing your entire traffic going on, so you can use it to help you to protect and like hide your traffic with the things you were doing. So it's always a good plan. Thoughts on passkeys? Passkeys, you mean passkeys? What do you mean with passkeys, GR? Oh, the 2FA you do like with the phone? Is that the thing? Yeah, the new standard. Yeah, it's pretty good. One of the things I always recommend for people, first, like get a ledger. Second, before get a ledger, get a 2FA, a physical 2FA, a YubiKey. Like protect your accounts, your basic things. Get a ledger, protect your funds. These kind of standards. Yeah, YubiKey, exactly. And and doing this new passkey thing they have, like you can create an external 2FA with your device. That is the really good goal you have. Like you can authenticate from your outside thing. You cannot authenticate, like for example, if they got your computer, oh god, they got my computer, like, but I have my phone and have my 2FA thing, they cannot get it, so you always have like an external thing an external device you need to have to authenticate yourself. So this is like a physical layer of protection, and against it, like it's really, really difficult to get into. It's a really good thing. So
Nice. So Britt or Clayton, do you guys have any like personal questions about security related stuff?
Yeah. What do you think about browser extensions? There's extensions that are well known, like Loom, for example. I had a friend that told me to at least create different browser profiles, which I've done. So, sorry, I should explain. I'm talking about like a hot wallet MetaMask, which of course you don't want to put a ton into, but still sometimes, even with your ledger, you want to probably use a different browser profile. Is that also your recommendation, Evaldo? And like how worried about browser extensions should we be generally?
yeah, browser extensions is basically a open door. You can just install anything that people publish, but always take a look like in the who is the developer, how many stars, like if it's reliable, if like have good recommendations. Like never just click in and install anything. Like you just see, oh okay, like it just give me this extension, like just want to install it. Always trying to get more information about the extension you are installing. And this about profiles is a really good thing. Like I do this for other extensions, like where I need to get more information in the same extension and I cannot use, so I just put in another browser extension. So it's pretty usual. People do this for MetaMask. Like for example, you need to add a new mnemonic or something like that. You just create a new browser profile. So, but just make sure like this is secure enough, the way you were doing and the way you are interacting with, like you're doing this in a safe computer, this kind of things. But I just would say not install anything you don't know where this is coming. Just make sure have good recommendations.
Cool. Thank you for that. At least I'm on the right track.
Yeah. And yeah, as I said again, I would like to really enforce this. Like, if you do the basic really well, you're better than like more than half the people. Like, not reuse passwords, use external two-factor authentications, like external things, use 2FA codes. Do not use SMS 2FA, because if they got your phone number, you're done, so trying to use like 2FA codes, generators at least, and if not possible. But the best option is always use an external 2FA, like a YubiKey or something like that. But use a password manager. There's a lot of good options in the market, so get one and you can do this. You can have like a way more safer life. You can sleep better if you have these basic things, And as GR say, the first thing you should have in mind when you open your browser in the internet daily is not clicking any links you see. Please don't do that. Because basically, if you click in a link, they link it to like a lot of bad things in your browser, in your computer. So please take care.
Awesome. And Britt, I guess, yeah, take it away. If you have any questions you'd like to add? If not, then yeah, we can say thank you to Evaldo and Dixie to join.
Trying to think if I had any last minute lingering questions. Nothing comes to top of my mind. I think just having a short list of like best practices is really helpful, and I've noticed that it's made a significant difference in my confidence in this space for sure. So yeah, no other questions for me right now. I do see that Dixie is out there. Dixie, are you able to speak today? Do you want to come up and? Yep. Okay. Well, before I bounce the ball over to Dixie, I just want to say a huge round of applause for Evaldo. Thanks for coming on stage and talking with us a bit about security and protection, and just letting the good people out there get to know you. So thanks, Evaldo.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity, and like, please be safe on the internet.
Yeah. Cheers, Evaldo.
Cheers. Thank you.
Yeah. Awesome. Good sir Dixie, how are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. How are you?
Doing great. Do you have anything fun to share with us today, product-wise? Any engineering updates?
I do. What I'll mention first is actually I was really pleased to hear the question from Clayton about browser profiles, because I think that's actually a really good tip that probably a lot of people are not aware of, is that like in your browser you can have lots of different profiles, and I have like I probably am a bit extreme here, but I have like 6 different profiles that I use, and like Discord, for instance, is in one of them. So like I don't have a wallet extension in the browser profile where I'm using Discord. So it should be like very, very difficult for someone to phish my, any kind of hot wallet credentials from a browser where I'm using Discord. So I think that's a really good one. I was really pleased to hear that question from Clayton, and I also thought like Evaldo gave some really good input on that one. So I'll just like kind of nerd out on that point a little bit.
Interesting. I don't use Discord in browser. I have the
Okay, maybe I'm revealing a little bit about my setup, but yeah, I run Discord in the browser. So yeah.
Nice. I wonder that's like a deeper conversation, but That is a cool hack, though. Nice.
So, product updates. So we have a ZK Sync launch coming up. There has been testing on ZK Sync testnet. So we have a Spark pool deployed, and we're sending messages back and forth, and basically just exercising the system to make sure everything's working ahead of the launch, which is coming up soon, TM. And that's basically been the focus for engineering this week. So there's work happening on the front end, there's work happening in the bots, and a little bit of work happening on the contracts front as well, just to get the deployments right and make sure that our scripts are working correctly.
Question. I'm going to ask you two questions. Actually, I'll save Tuna's for just a second. The other upcoming chain of interest, it has been base. Do you have any rough idea how quickly we'll be able to get to base?
So base is obviously based on OPStack, and there's a nice advantage of OPStack in that we already have good support for Optimism. So I know that some people have been looking at it, and that obviously base they've just made the announcement that I think they're going live in the next week or so. So we are aiming to be there as soon as possible, is my understanding. And of course, ZK Sync is the priority, but I think that there's probably going to be some eyes looking at base as well as kind of a fast follow. So it's going to be interesting couple of weeks in the engineering team, and I think exciting from a product perspective, because we've had this kind of period of intense development, and we're going to start to see things are going to be launching. So yeah, I don't have any kind of concrete commitment on the base launch, but from what I understand, it should be prioritized very highly, and also hopefully following on quickly after ZK Sync.
That. Okay, quick question from Tuna then. He wants to know, will bridging NFTs ever be possible with a cross? Is that anywhere on our roadmap?
It's a good question. I haven't been involved at all in any discussions about bridging NFTs, but that's not to say it hasn't been discussed. So I actually don't know. I can only say that I'm not aware of anything on that front.
Cool. We'll have to ask Ryan when he's back. He's out of office for a few weeks. So. Well, very cool. Any product questions out there? I don't see any yet coming in from the stage chat.
Maybe while that's happening, I'm going to set up the wheel.
Yes, and Amanda, we need a double dose of wheel this week, because Clayton and I were not smart enough to figure out how to do it last week.
Yes, I wrote the instructions for y'all.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No doubt, it wasn't your fault. It was totally user error on our end. We inspired a lot of confidence in the community.
You know what? I think you guys are. I think that something's happening though. There is no wheel. Huh. Create a wheel using a list of entries. Server members. Let me see. Bizarre. This is not really working as it normally did. It used to work. It used to be voice. I think it's not really working.
Clayton broke it. It wasn't me.
I know it's not you guys, it's just not here anymore.
Yeah, I see. I don't see wheel voice either. I see other things.
Shoot.
Entries. Reactions. Create a wheel of people who reacted to a message. Wheel shared. We could do that.
Yeah, I think we have to do that. You're right. That's a good one. Because remember, Tuna, you were saying too, I remember Tuna was like, the wheel is not showing like 200 people in the audience. So I think, yeah, we have to do it like this. Maybe the wheel thing stopped doing that as a, what did I say? Maybe the wheel bot stopped offering the voice members option because it just wasn't working.
So should we designate an official message that people should go react to right now to enter? Oh, there you go. You just did it. So Amanda just posted the react to this, and I'm going to put as many reactions on there as I can. So react to this message and use all your super reactions for the month. Wow, this is pretty entertaining, actually.
Yeah, this is fun. If you guys want to win not 25 but 50 in AC, well, not in one go, but maybe you could potentially win twice in a row. That'd be wow, what a lucky chance. Yeah, we're doing 2 times 25 PBM, no worries. 2 winners, so 1 to make up for last week, and yeah, I guess we're gonna have to find a new wheel. But this is really fun too. I think it's like a good way to end the call, just to like watch this madness. I'm kind of obsessed.
Well, I kind of like it too because it requires that you're actually paying attention.
The people who reacted with the clown emoji don't win. Just kidding.
With the what movie? The
I'm
Justin.
kidding. No, the clown emoji.
Oh yeah, I was literally the one who started that one. Sorry.
Did you? Okay. Someone like unreacted to it. I'm like, no, I'm just kidding.
That's
Just
funny.
kidding. Okay, so maybe we'll put a timer on this and was it you two? No. It's okay. Let's maybe give it like 1 more minute. Is that too long? What if 30 more seconds? 30 more seconds to react, and then we'll get a wheel spinning. But yeah, I guess the NFT bridge, we have to like look into it more, but from like just if you guys want to just chat about this for the next couple seconds, it's like we have talked about it, of course, but I think just our focus right now, correct me if I'm wrong, is just to find an even more optimal solution to token bridging and focus on supporting more chains, supporting more tokens before we start developing a whole other product.
I think NFT bridging is an interesting like dilemma. Is it just message bridging? Is that how you accomplish that? Or is it like one of one mint and burn style? Either way, that's like not an architecture that we support. So I don't know. I don't know enough about how Layer 0 actually works to know how they do NFT bridging. NFT bridging, email to brit@uma.xyz and attach a JPEG.
By the way, I'm gonna spin the wheel now, so I'm sorry if I'm not responding. I'm just like focusing on this first, the next level.
All good. All good. Yeah, GR, in response to your question, I do think that it requires mint and burn, which maybe that's okay with an NFT. Maybe not. Okay. Well, Amanda, while you get our wheel thinking, I'm going to go ahead and summon our music bot because it is just about time for us to dance our way out of here as well.
Oh my gosh, it worked. Okay.
Awesome. That's good. Who's our winner?
That crypto gal.
Hey, nice.
Now we'll just wait for one more.
Again, though, it's not looking like it's all the names, eh? I mean, maybe it's just not adding them all to the pie because it's just visually it looks a little bit nuts.
Well, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, there's about 20 names on that. I feel like that matches the number of reactions, probably.
Oh, oh, okay, okay, okay. I'm just thinking that it's so much more. Okay.
Yeah, because the most reactions of a single emoji I see is 16. So there could be more than 16, but not so many more.
I see, I see. Okay.
Looks like we have a second winner.
Yay.
Wonderful.
Two crypto winners, Crypto Mandias and Crypto Gal.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Turns out if you want to win, you just gotta change your name so that it includes crypto.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, Amanda, will you be tipping out our wonderful winners?
Yes, yes.
Awesome. Well, as always, thanks to everybody for joining today. I hope you were able to level up your Discord security game, and hope you learned something fun about Dixie in that he uses Discord in browser on a very specific profile with no hot wallet connection. Thank you to my wonderful co-hosts Amanda and Clayton, and happy Thursday, everyone.